Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another one of these videos, giving my thoughts on upcoming feature films and so on, yeah. And I've been kind of on a roll with doing these videos. If you've seen the last two I did on upcoming animated feature films in the next 2 years, well, for this one, there is one animated feature film that I forgot and didn't think of talking about in the last video for what's coming in 2025, and that being the next SpongeBob SquarePants film. So yeah, I kind of feel bad about not putting that in, since it is one of those animated feature films that will be coming next year. But now I am talking about it, and well, might as well talk about it. So yeah, so not just the next upcoming SpongeBob SquarePants film that I'm going to be talking about, but a lot of other films that do come straight from Paramount, but also from Universal Pictures and also Blumhouse. One film that's coming from both Universal and Blumhouse. So first off, the next SpongeBob SquarePants film, which being Search for SquarePants. Yeah, the SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants. That's the full title. So we now know when this is coming, and yeah, I heard that it was very recently announced that it's coming late next year, and also I'm pretty sure, because most of these films that I'm talking about, these upcoming feature films, I'm pretty sure they were talked about and announced at CinemaCon. I'm pretty sure, but I don't know. If you guys know, you can let me know. But yeah, so the next and fifth SpongeBob film, because technically 4 SpongeBob films that we have as of right now. I mean, yes, that includes the SpongeBob SquarePants spin-off movie that centers on Sandy Cheeks. We still don't know when that's coming out. I mean, do we? I mean, because apparently I recall hearing that it was supposedly leaked out, and already it's gotten some bad reputation, like a lot of negative response and such. But knowing me, I'm pretty sure that I might enjoy it, think it's okay, as I usually am on how I feel on some films. And yeah, so aside from that, the next installment in the SpongeBob movie franchise, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie industry, however you want to put at it, and technically it's, the 4th SpongeBob film in line with the first 3. And I will say, because Sponge Out of Water, the 3rd one, Search for the Bikini Bottom, I forget the title, but I'll try and remember to put a text, so, that one. I, of course, did see it and watch it. I'll be completely honest, the 3rd SpongeBob film, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was pretty good and decent. Sure, it's not the best, but still, So with a 4th SpongeBob film on the way, and from what we know so far, it's going to be centered on SpongeBob coming face-to-face with the Flying Dutchman. Hey, that's a good choice for an antagonist to be in the next one. The Flying Dutchman, I mean, he's perfect to be in a SpongeBob movie. And of course, one of the Murray brothers, of course, what's-his-face, once again voicing the Flying Dutchman. Brian Murray? Yeah, Brian Murray. Brian Dole Murray, that's right. Yeah, and I guess from what I can tell, and I think there's been 1 or 2 concept pics that came out of what it's going to be like. I think it's gonna once again be computer animated. Now, I'll be completely honest. I would love to see this, be hand drawn, in 2D, just like, how the first 2 were. I mean, Sponge Out of Water, I think it did pretty well from, going from hand drawn to computer animated when SpongeBob and his friends went up to the surface. I mean, that made sense. But I'm just saying, overall, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But we don't really know that much on what to expect. All we know is that, there will be another SpongeBob movie on the way, coming to theaters late next year, and the Flying Dutchman being the main antagonist. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, shouldn't the Flying Dutchman and SpongeBob be on good terms? Like, what is the Flying Dutchman gonna do? Like, what does he have up his sleeves? We'll just have to wait and see. You never know. But yeah, overall, the fourth and upcoming SpongeBob film, in line with the first three, and technically this being the fifth SpongeBob film, again, because with the spin-off movie with Sandy Cheeks, yeah, it'll be pretty good, and maybe it will be pretty good than, say, well, the last two, the third SpongeBob film and the Sandy Cheeks film. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so with that out of the way, now we come to all the others. Let's continue. Let's continue on the subject of what's coming from Paramount. Starting with Star Trek, yeah. So I'll talk about Star Trek next. We have two upcoming Star Trek films. One that will be coming straight to Paramount Plus, and I'm pretty sure the other one is coming to... Is it coming to theaters? I don't know. I don't seem to recall, seeing any articles where it said it was coming to theaters. Probably not, because I don't think they made the announcement if it's either coming to theaters or to Paramount Plus. I mean, either one. It doesn't matter for me. I mean, it'd be nice to see a Star Trek movie, another Star Trek movie on the big screen, and how apparently it seems as though Star Trek 4 will be happening very soon. It's got a new writer, and yeah, because with Star Trek 4 being in development hell for a long time, I mean, it also, another way to put it wasn't in a development phase. And yeah, sometimes projects, that can happen to some projects, and, it could take a while for them to happen until the time comes for them to officially happen, and it's a go for them. And in this case, Star Trek 4. So that's great to see. Even my dad had been going on for quite a while about, Star Trek 4 taking so long to happen. And I, of course, assured him about that. So, I did the best I could. So anyways, so with Star Trek 4, set aside with what I've had to say, the next two Star Trek films, Section 31, and the other one that's supposed to be a prequel to the Kelvin timeline, taking place before the first installment in the Kelvin timeline, with the 2009 Star Trek film. Sounds pretty interesting. First off, Section 31, which will have Michelle Yeoh once again reprising her role from Star Trek Discovery, her mirror version, yeah, because it'll be nice to see, and how she'll be the main star, and, fresh new batch of characters, and fresh actors, some who I am familiar with, but not so much. I know one of the actresses that's going to be in Section 31 is from that Netflix show, Ginny and Georgie. Yeah, I think I got that right. And another one of the actresses, is going to be playing a young version of the captain of the Enterprise C. Captain... I wish I could remember the name, but I'll try to remember to put another text in this video, because, the captain's name. But yeah, again, the captain of the Enterprise C, the lady captain, and who unfortunately got killed later on in the TNG episode, Yesterday's Enterprise. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that captain, well, and obviously this is before she became captain of the Enterprise C, she'll be a part of Section 31. So, yeah. And I think, from what I can tell, the actress they got to play the younger version of her, pretty good casting, a good resemblance. And if you know about this too. Yeah, so we don't really know. I mean, for me, I don't really know that much about what to expect with Section 31, and maybe some of you, I don't know, because I don't think we already do we or do we not already have a plot slash story of what's going to happen in Section 31. Well, point being, because this one Star Trek film coming to Paramount Plus. It'll be a Paramount Plus original movie. There's been a couple of those so far. I mean, because how many have there been anyways? Michelle Yeoh, I mean, and this is right after she was in an Oscar-winning film, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Yeah, that's awesome to see. Because obviously she was doing Star Trek Discovery before that film and so on. And boy, has Michelle Yeoh stayed busy, I tell you, because it's like she's been in so much as of now, I tell you. I mean, she's awesome. She's a great actress and a great person. And so with her starring in a Star Trek film, reprising her role from Discovery, with who else is in the film, yeah, I can't wait. I look forward to, when this comes out, when we get the first teaser posters, and a teaser trailer and such, that I'll do a reaction to that. Yeah. Okay, so with that out of the way, yeah, Section 31, in closing on Section 31, I can't wait. I have no doubt that it's going to be really good. Okay, so with that out of the way, the Star Trek prequel film, taking place before the first installment of the Kelvin timeline, the 2009 Star Trek film. It is pretty interesting, and the fact that this is going to be the first ever Star Trek piece of material that is a prequel, because we really haven't had anything prequel related. Well, if you would, I think Star Trek Enterprise would be considered something prequel-ish. The fact that it takes place years before the original series, yeah, technically that would count. Well, I guess to put it this being the first ever Star Trek prequel film. Not to mention, in the 1980s, and before Star Trek IV officially happened, there were plans and considerations to do a Star Trek prequel and, backstory about Kirk, McCoy, and Spock in their academy days. Because here's the thing, and for those of you that don't know, because before Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home officially happened, Shatner and his agent, they were having trouble, settling an agreement with Paramount, and when it seemed like Shatner would not return to reprise Kirk, Nimoy and someone else, they had a plan B. They were considering on making a Star Trek prequel / backstory on James T. Kirk, Leonard McCoy, and Spock, when all three of them first met in their academy days. And that would have been pretty interesting to see. Which technically, that would be something that we would get in the 2009 Star Trek film, even though, the timeline was changed and such. Yeah, but still. But when, finally, Paramount settled on an agreement and such, negotiations with Shatner and his agent, well, of course, Shatner did, of course, come back to reprise Kirk for the next Star Trek film, which of course being Star Trek IV, and from there on, and the fact that Shatner would get to direct the next Star Trek film after the fourth one, and we all know how that turned out, so yeah. So, as of now, we are getting officially a Star Trek prequel film, and again, for it taking place before the events of the 2009 Star Trek film, before Nero and Prime Spock stepped in and they created a second universe. And with the whole thing of the USS Kelvin, yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. And, who knows, who these batch of characters are going to be for this Star Trek prequel film. I mean, if it's going to include anybody who we know of, I don't know, maybe the possibility of, I was thinking of Sarek, but that wouldn't be possible, especially the actor, what's-in-face, who played Sarek in the Kelvin Timeline Star Trek films. Only in the first one. He, sadly passed away. But, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I don't know, because if we could get an appearance of George Kirk, Chris Hemsworth, and the captain of the Kelvin, the bald guy, it's possible, but we're just gonna have to wait and see what the Star Trek prequel film will have in store. But overall, I can't wait for it. It sounds like it's going to be really good. And again, whether if this comes out in theaters or on Paramount Plus, that I'm pretty sure we don't know of as of right now, but we'll know down the road, obviously. So yeah, in closing, I can't wait for the upcoming Star Trek prequel film. And I believe it is set to start filming sometime later this year, I'm pretty sure, and it's slated for a release next year. I think that sounds about right. Yeah, but overall, I can't wait. Okay, so with Star Trek out of the way, Transformers and G.I. Joe. Yes, Transformers and G.I. Joe. We are finally, it's official, we are getting that crossover movie with Transformers and G.I. Joe, and how it was teased in the latest Transformers film, Rise of the Beasts. How because ever since the Bumblebee movie, it began a fresh new start for the Transformers movie industry, a new franchise of Transformers movies, again, starting with the Bumblebee movie, and how in the next one, Rise of the Beasts, at the very end of the film, we did get a tease, because on a card, it had the G.I. Joe symbol and the words, and yeah, because G.I. Joe being in this world of Transformers, and how, yeah, because it seems like the G.I. Joe, if I'm correct, the G.I. Joe is aware of the existence of the Autobots, and, well, it's nice to see that it will officially be happening. Having the Autobots and the G.I. Joe team up, and the possibility if the Decepticons and the enemy of the G.I. Joe, if they team up. I mean, we don't know as of right now, but that's a good possibility, don't you think? It seems like it's bound to happen. But, we'll just have to wait and see. I have no doubt that Peter Cullen will be back reprising the voice role of Optimus Prime. And if anybody, like from, say, Rise of the Beasts comes back, and maybe if Haley Steinfeld, who played Charlie in the Bumblebee movie, will be back, I can't remember. I think she did express interest on the possibility of coming back. I mean, yeah, because especially, her character in Bumblebee reuniting and her getting to meet all the other Autobots, that'd be great. Yeah, but overall, all we know for right now is that it is official. A crossover between Transformers and G.I. Joe is officially happening, and it's gonna be pretty epic. I have no doubt about it. Yeah, so in closing, I can't wait for this. It's going to be really awesome. The crossover with Transformers and G.I. Joe. And not to mention, if you guys do or do not know, we did have a couple of G.I. Joe movies a couple years ago that came out pretty much the same time when the first batch of Transformers movies began. So, yeah. Okay, so there's that. Okay, 2 more left for me to talk about. And, yeah, because as I said, like one film that's coming from Universal Pictures and Blumhouse, yeah, I'll save that for last, yeah. Okay, so next up, apparently, because, I mean, I feel like this came out of nowhere, we are getting a live-action, R-rated Ninja Turtles film called The Last Ronin. And already, I'm down for it. I'm down for it. It sounds pretty interesting. And how, if you know about the whole thing of Ronin, because Ronin is this samurai warrior, and some characters have gone by Ronin, because, well, best example, Clint/Hawkeye, he went by Ronin, and in Ninja Turtles, it's, yeah, Michelangelo. Michelangelo went by Ronin. And the Ronin figure, I even had this conversation with my mom, because I did mention this to my mom about the upcoming live-action R-rated Ninja Turtles film, and we were talking about Ronin, and I asked, like, would Ronan be like an anti-hero or something? And she said yes. So yes, like Ronan is basically an anti-hero. So yeah, so Michelangelo, I'm pretty sure it will be Michelangelo being the last Ronin. And boy, how it will look in live action. I would think probably it's not going to be anything like what those last two live-action Ninja Turtles were that Michael Bay did. I highly doubt that. I hope as though that, you know, for this being live-action, it'll look pretty good, and how the Turtles, how they'll look. I mean, we don't know, because we don't know, as of right now, who all is going to appear. Obviously, we know that one of the Turtles, which being Michelangelo, I assume, you know, he'll be the titled character, the last Ronin. I hope as though that this will turn out pretty good, and the fact that this is going to be R-rated, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, there'd have to be some Ninja Turtles materials, mostly in, like say, in the comic books, where things got gruesome and brutal in some Ninja Turtles comics and such. Am I right? Because I have no doubt that there's already been some Ninja Turtles materials, like in the comics, most notably, where there have been some gruesome and brutal stuff. So, yeah, so, you know, all we know so far is that, you know, we're getting a R-rated live-action Ninja Turtles film about the last Ronin, and if it's going to go in a direction where, I guess, Michelangelo is going to be the last Ninja Turtle alive, like, I think, yeah, because that's somewhere in the comics, too, with the whole thing of Michelangelo being Ronin. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, overall, it's really cool to see that it's happening, and also the fact that a sequel to Mutant Mayhem is happening as well. So we have two upcoming Ninja Turtles films, one animated and one live action. Sounds pretty exciting. I can't wait. Okay, so now with that out of the way, saved the best for last. I've saved the best for last, I should say. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Yes. It's official, and I think it was clear that it was gonna happen. And of course it is. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is on the way, and we already have we already know when it's coming out. It's gonna be coming out next year in the fall. Very fitting, of course, and seeing as how the first Five Nights at Freddy's film came out in the fall. So, and I think from what I've heard, like, I guess they're gonna go in the direction just like how the first three Five Nights at Freddy's games were, if that's what they are going to do. I'm pretty sure. I have no doubt on that. And I don't see why the human characters who were in the first one will come back. You know, you have the older brother, played by Jacob Tremblay. Yeah, I think I got his last name right. And his on-screen daughter, I almost said daughter, I'm so sorry. His on-screen little sister. And that police girl that, clearly, because there was a thing going on between her and Josh's character. And no doubt about it that Matthew Lillard will be coming back as the main antagonist, Springtrap. And the fact that, because I'd like to point out, I did see, and finally got to watch, the first Five Nights at Freddy's film, and it didn't disappoint for me. I mean, I'm sure for all of you, because you probably couldn't stand the aunt that was trying to take her little niece away from her big nephew. Yeah, she got what she deserved. Yes, and the fact that, didn't see this coming, that the police girl is the daughter of Matthew Lillard's character. That's crazy. So I have no doubt that, you know, Matthew Lillard will be back, because, you know, he's unstoppable from what I can tell, and what was in the first film. Yeah, just, I have no doubt that Five Nights at Freddy's 2 will be really good. Probably, you know, because on the same level as the first one, because the first Five Nights at Freddy's film, sadly, because even though there were a lot of those that really enjoyed it, there were some that just, you know, but that's their opinion. So I'm pretty sure that the the Rotten Tomato score of Five Nights at Freddy's, like, the critics review and such, like, you know, it's probably negative, but for the audience score, yeah, because review score, but for the audience score, so, yeah, I think that sounds about right. Yeah, so all we know so far right now is that, well, it's officially happening, and if they're gonna go in the direction like how the first 3 Five Nights at Freddy's games are, because how each of them are different, and, you know, it's like a new Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria and with new batch of animatronics, maybe that's probably the direction they'll go with. But we'll just have to wait and see. But overall, and in closing, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, it's great to see that, of course, it's officially happening, and yeah, they're going to start filming later this year, and I can't wait until we get teaser posters, a teaser trailer, etc. Yeah, so there you go. That's all that I've got, and what I've had to say, and giving my thoughts on for this video, from the next upcoming SpongeBob movie, the Transformers and G.I. Joe movie crossover, the next upcoming, the 2 upcoming Star Trek films, and, yeah, The Last Ronin and Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And what about you guys? What did you think on what I've had to say on these upcoming feature films? Which ones are you looking forward to the most? Yeah, what do you guys have to say? And yeah, what did you think of this video? Leave comments and give this video a like as always. And so, with that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me giving my thoughts on these upcoming feature films. And yep, I'll of course plan on doing more of these. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, and peace out.